Good morning, it's Nicole. I know you love the appearance today. I haven't even gotten in the shower yet. Just kind of got up, went for my walk, had a really powerful meditation which helped me understand something even greater that I was not figuring out for the longest. And I am so excited. It took for this amazing healing I got from this wonderful healer yesterday and listening to something of Stuart Wilde to put together this pain that I've had lodged in my leg. You know, a lot of us know out here that the justice system isn't quite right. Something isn't right. You know, it's not built on love, compassion, and understanding. And it's really, the more that I learn, it's looking inside us and seeing where we're contributing to the problems of today's world and everything that's going on. So, a while ago, I ended up having to go to Detroit with someone, and I kind of saw their justice system, and it overwhelmed me. It hurt my heart. And I was emotionally in a vulnerable state. My mom had died, had some things going on in my family life, some weird other people, you know, some weird shit was going on with me, we'll just put it that way. So when I was there and I saw it, I was, you know, I've been really practicing being non-judgmental, and it was overwhelming because I was just looking at, like, this is not right. This is not how we treat people. I care about my patients, and you could really tell, you don't care about these people. Like, I care. You don't care. They were people on a piece of paper, and you shuffle them through and you collect their money, and I just was seeing, like, all the shame and guilt and low self-worth, and this is just what it is, right? And when we were leaving, I felt this lump in my leg, and it hurt really bad. I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't until a little bit later when I was getting a massage and the person was rubbing it, and she said, "What is this?" And I sat with my body, and I ended up bursting out in tears. It's injustice. I see it everywhere, and it's hurting my heart. Like, and I shouldn't use those words. I don't want to say it's hurting, you know, careful of my words, but it was more than I could handle. Like, everywhere I looked, I just kind of kept seeing different injustices that were happening in the world. And you know when something's right and something is not right. Like, that is not right. That does not sit right in my heart. That does not feel right. This isn't, really learning to sit with your heart and making your decisions based off those moves is how you understand. Now, earlier, if you've ever seen any of my videos, in my process in this journey, I was asked, I had a boyfriend who died while being in solitary confinement for 30 plus days. And he was the one who was really guiding me on this journey. And he asked me to love anyone regardless of what they've done. And he was very specific in roles, right? Like, just kind of breaking things down. And he said, there's all these roles that have to be healed too. And it was the victim, victimizer, and the observer. And I now understand what he meant from that, because when you're observing something, if it emotionally affects you, you are entangled in the web. So listening to Stuart Wilde this morning, you know how you know something, but then you hear it again and it just clicks. Like, now you understand it. Like, it's like intellectually sometimes we can know things, and then you hear it again, and now it's like your awareness went up, like you caught it, you're like, oh my God, like, I totally get what this meant this whole time. Like, I understood it, but now I really get it, right? So I'm listening to Stuart, and that pain in my leg, ever since that time in January, it stayed. And I've been going to get massages and acupuncture and, like, all these things to try to get it out. And it hasn't really been going away, and maybe it's a little bit, and I've done, all these things. So this morning, when I was listening to Stuart, he made the comment about how we become linked to something that, might not really even be ours when we are emotionally tied, right? And this goes along with, how you're tied to things if you're not forgiving of whatever that is, right? Well, what happened in Detroit was I was emotionally linked to all the emotional stuff kind of going on in their justice system when I was there. And that's why it was lodged in my body, because it isn't right, and I know that, but by me emotionally kind of taking that on, it was harming me. And so I sat, the opposite of what you really want to do, it's to send love to that situation, right? Because then we transform it and raise the vibration. That's how we lift, what's going on out in the world. So anything that's coming up that, maybe it's in the news or whatever, that that you're getting hooked into, like emotionally. For me, what I did this morning was I sat in meditation and I looked at it's like this little jellyfish that comes and it takes you into wherever it is that you're going. And it kind of just took me on this journey, and it was taking me back, like it was rewinding anything that had an emotional attachment to certain things, and I was sending love to all those little areas. And it took me back to the experience in Detroit, and it was just like sending love to everyone and everything that's there. And it was helping me detach from maybe the sorrow and the pain that I was seeing, and just kind of go back and observe it, send love to it, and be free of it. So and there were many things that I was going back to in this meditation. Many people, many things, many places. I just kept doing it. And would you believe? So my leg isn't hurting anymore. That lump is not there anymore. And it was like, I get it. I finally get it. So the best thing that I can tell you to do is to sit with people, places, and things in your heart and send love to them. And if your body is angry and agitated, it might take a bit for that love to really come through, and sit with your heart to get it there. But it's possible. And you might not get it all done in one time, right? This is like something that you can do daily. Like even before you go to bed, sit with your day, go back and recap your whole day in anywhere where you felt a negative emotional attachment to something, whether it was driving, whether it was with a family member, a coworker. Go back to that, re-examine from an observer standpoint, and send love to all people in it. And watch how different your life changes and how much more free you become. All right, if you would like to find me, I am on beautifulsoulsmission.org. My name is Nicole Povemacher. I'm here to do God's work. And I gotta say this other thing. Even though God is non-judging, it takes for us as people to really ask ourselves the big question on, is what we're doing in this world right? Is what you're doing, is your role in this world at this time, does it sit right with your heart, or are you just collecting the paycheck? Because I know there's a lot of people in the justice system that are collecting a paycheck, and they know they went in with the best of intentions, and when they got in there, they realized it's fucked up here. But the only way we can change is if we start to change ourselves. And we stand up for what's right, but we do it from our heart space. Meaning, I can't go along with something that I know isn't for the highest and greatest good of myself and the other people, right? Like, I love you as much as when you know how to love yourself, you know how to love other people, so you know how to help. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I respect my friends that are police officers. I love them dearly, and a lot of them have said they agree with what I'm saying. They know that it's not right. So the only way for us to make changes is for us to try something different. And it's to lead from our heart. I mean, we punish people for not knowing how to love themselves. When we have a society and TV shows and families that no fucking clue what that even means, right? And then we make them feel bad for not knowing how to do it. When in political standpoints of things, all we see is fighting. And then this is what we're taught. This is what we're supposed to do. But that's not God. That is not love, right? So it takes a lot of deep inner work and deep programming from a system that is kind of set up odds against us to fight with each other. But then when you know that there are other realms that are kind of interacting and more things going on, and to keep detangling yourself from and blah, 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 and, whatever, you really get that it's not a fair playing field. And I think it's going to take for us to come together as people in the heart to really acknowledge where we have not brought our best self forward, where we are still judging, where we are still condemning, where we are still contributing to the problem, where we are still fighting, where we are still holding our wants, our needs, our whatever, then what is right, what is loving, what is good, what is kind, what is from the heart, what is not ego-based, but heart-based. Like there's a difference. And it doesn't mean we're going to get here overnight, but it means every day if we just keep checking in with ourselves and looking where we can do better and be better, we can change the world. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm not out here like, hey, I want to save the world and save all the people, because I get everybody's at their own point, in life. And like my phrase I say is, I can help you to the capacity you want to help yourself. And I can love you to the capacity I know how to love myself. So if I don't know how to love myself, then how can I help anybody else? Right? And if I'm fighting an inner war, then how can I expect an outer world to be of peace? Heal yourself and save everybody else. And trust. Trust that even if it looks bad, it's still going to work out somehow. And I'm still learning these things myself. I'm not perfect. I don't think there is any such thing as perfect. In fact, even the more you try to be perfect on this and carefully calculate every step, the more stressful it might come. So even on your hardest and hardest days, lead from your heart, live in that space, keep checking in every once in a while, do it daily if you can, and see how your world changes. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.